Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome. My name is Jeneth Blackard,
And I'm Leonka Reina.
and this is the How It Hustle Morning Show. Today we're talking with Janet Doerr, and I chose the topic, You're Not Crazy, You're a Starseed,
Yes, yes.
which I felt like we could really dive into
Today we're
today.
talking with
Oops.
We're really excited to have her. She's
Excited.
coming
Yeah.
back
The
to
third
us.
time.
Yes, and she's one of those that is like super, super knowledgeable about today's times. And she's really going to talk about like all of the things that are swirling around us and how to kind of navigate that as an empath. So I think you're going to have a really great time just really understanding and hearing some of the tools and techniques and things for just finding our center. I know that I can benefit from this. So I was like, yes, like my whole body just jumped when she wrote what she wanted to talk about. So we're super excited about that today.
Yeah. I, oh my goodness. We had the Mystique Society last night,
Yeah.
and then I had a dream about it.
Oh, dang. What's up? Isn't that funny? Because we just had Michael Lennox on. If you missed that show, it was all about dream and dream interpretation.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me. So
No,
do tell.
I was like, I'm now going to start dreaming. And one of our token men from the group was there in my dream, and he kind of jabbed me on vanity. I was
Oh,
like,
interesting.
I was like, ooh. Well, so I guess that's somewhere in my subconscious world.
Yeah, for sure. Like, what's going on with that?
Right.
And then also, are you feeling like you might have more prolific dreams, like kind of the kind that tell you something? I love the fact that you
Well,
said vanity. That's
I
like
feel
something
like that might be
interesting.
something that I look at in my life for sure. Is there, a level of me that is doing something to prevent judgment of somebody or something else? So that was kind
No.
of my little thought. Mhm.
Yeah. And so did you have any feeling toward it? Did you feel bad about it? Did you feel like that's what you
No,
do or?
no.
Okay.
It really very much was that, well, that's your point of view.
Oh,
So
interesting.
maybe that was me just kind of saying, you know, hey, we all have different points of view
Yeah.
about things like this. So I thought it was very interesting. But I was like, that's just so wild. After so many nights not having any dreams, I finally had a dream that gave me a little bit of insight. And I thought, now I'm going to work on really working this dream scenario. And then this morning I got up. I mean, we were looking at clouds in the inner circle last night, and oh my goodness, there's this one woman that had these like epic clouds with all these details.
Yeah. They were wow. And she took them. Those are actual real pictures.
Yeah.
That she received the information that says that they activate. Boy, when I looked at it,
really
I got that.
activate.
They do. They do. So it's fascinating.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then this morning I was like, we talked about signs and signs being everywhere. And I splashed, as I do always in my cappuccino, the coffee on top of the foamy milk. And it looked like a dragon/angel.
It does. You're gonna have to post that to
the inner circle group,
into Instagram as well. So if you're listening and you want to see, see some the image, then check it out on Instagram. Let us know what you think. We saw three different things. But I saw the angel. She saw the
angel first, and I saw the dragon, and I was like, maybe it's a rooster though with this big fluffy tail.
Right?
Yeah.
But it definitely was there.
And if it means something or not, my thought was if people are reading tea leaves and getting all this intuitive insight, then I can read my cappuccino.
Yeah, I mean, I saw people have posted pictures of having Jesus in their cappuccino, and I don't know if it's real or AI.
Yeah, but it might be AI, but
I was like, whoa, okay, but I know you didn't make yours up because I'm right here with you, and I know you ain't gonna take the time to do that because you're like,
no, I don't have time to make my foam look like a dragon.
But it does. I mean, really is there something, and really what all those are is just a moment to take pause.
Yes.
And to be present. And your spirit guides are saying, hey, hey, I know you're listening. Here's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
cool.
I just, I think that there's me and tea leaves. I used to think, I doubt it. Like, how does that work? Right. And it was just so much like there was like such a judgment around it. Like, yeah, I don't buy it. Like the tarot.
I was gonna
I
say.
also didn't really buy. So there's been evolution in my
There it
world.
is.
So if
That's
you are
right.
kind of like, yeah, that's stupid, you might just change in 10 years too.
Yeah, or just
Yep.
ask more questions about that, right?
Mhm.
What makes you so charged about it?
Yeah.
Well, before we bring up the lovely Janet, I have a little bit of Mystic Space Weather News. This morning, Mystic Space Weather News, we talking about the geomagnetic storm watch that we have going on. This comes to us from NOAA. It says NOAA forecasters say that a minor G1 class geomagnetic storm are possible today, tomorrow, this April 8th, and sorry, April 11th, when a CME is expected to graze Earth's magnetic field. The CME was hurled into space by an erupting solar filament on April 8th, and the high latitude skywatchers should be alert for auroras mixed with a nearly full moonlight. So that'll be really fun. And this one I thought was really interesting because comets in our area really do change the way in which we interact with our space weather. So Comet Swan continues to brighten. More than a week after its discovery, Comet Swan finally has an official name, which is it's named, y'all, C2025 F2 Swan.
I'll remember that.
And it will continue to brighten as it passes through, and we'll see more of it coming through from now till May 1st. So just know that you have different energies that are interacting with this comet. Look it up. We know Halley's Comet was really big during that time. I was listening back to Dolores Cannon as she was reporting through her work with Nostradamus. And he talks a lot about the comet that came during that time and how that planetary alignment was very much about how he was using those different things in order to predict things in time. And as the researchers were finding, like, lots of the things that he was saying were coming true, but people had the timing wrong. And we also don't sometimes see a comet in our view, just like we just barely found this one. So very much so, still could be a lot of things that are very prolific and how we interact with these energies in our space weather. So just wanted to share that. That's what I got for Mystic Space Weather News.
Oh, and you guys, there's a full moon happening this Saturday.
Yes.
So make sure you at least peek out at it and say hello.
Yeah, I like to put my crystals out and charge them and bring them back in. I barely started doing that, but I do enjoy having that charged energy. And sometimes I'll maybe not my ring, my diamond ring, but I will put some jewelry out there and then I'll come and put it on and it's fun.
Okay.
And so what are your rituals? We're curious, right? What are your full moon rituals? Do you have any?
Right.
So let us know. I'd love to hear in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Or in the YouTube comments.
Well, let's bring Janet up and continue this conversation about the mystics and how we're so uncomfortable here on this planet. I feel like this is such a great topic that we can go 101 places. I really, really love it. Janet, welcome. You're muted though.
I can fix that.
Oh.
So good morning. I have to do this swoosh with you.
Wait, we have it. Okay.
Got it?
Well, can our viewers hear? Yep. Okay.
We're still.
How's my sound now?
We worked on this all day yesterday.
And I'm like, I got this.
Hang on just a second.
Got it?
Can our viewers hear?
Hold on, I need to turn still tuned.
How's my sound now?
We worked on this all.
Yeah, it probably does work. We just aren't going to take time to deal with it. All right, Janet, you're up.
Hey, now I can do my mystic swoosh with you.
Ocean, the exercise for today.
Move and smooth the energy.
Love that. I love it so much, Janet. If you're on the audio, she's doing the little hand motion that I do when I do Mystic Space Weather News. Well, good morning. One, Janet, thank you for joining us today. And I know this is very timely. What you got going on, and why were you so called to share this very timely topic with us?
Well, being an empath and very sensitive person myself, I do feel everything.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
feel the planetary field, and actually, it's you answered, Leonka, a question of mine because yesterday, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon Pacific time, all of a sudden I kind of went, whoa, like waves of energy coming in. And I didn't have time to go look to do the research on what was hitting. But I said to Bruce, well, there's a solar, wave of
Yeah.
energy that has just come through because I'm feeling it.
Oh,
Well,
So
that
as I work with individuals, of course, groups, but I also do a lot of work on the planetary field. So I observe what's going on with the collective and how people are handling the incoming energies and what's coming up for people. And of course, you can see stuff coming up for people everywhere. You get on any platform you want, and you can see people expressing, emoting, being triggered by, confused by, disturbed by, not at peace with, you name it. And so what's really happening is we've got all this extra energy, plasma, photonic waves, bursts of light. It's coming from the great central sun and suns behind that, suns behind the suns, through our local sun, emanating to the earth. And in addition, we have other benevolent forces. We've got the galactic spaceships parked all around the earth, and they're emanating in frequencies to be helpful, to help us smooth and harmonize the energy. So all this light's coming into, just take one person. Now it comes into our field and it's very high frequency. So it's vibrating at love or above. And what's going on inside of us. If we have some leftover judgments of self, for example, Jeneth, you shared, oh, I've got a little something I could be working on. And we're
always.
all getting these hints and nudges that there's something in the way we navigated our human life up till now, personality and more ego-based, that is no longer resonant with operating completely from our heart, love, compassion, tolerance for all, acceptance of all. That's the part of us that doesn't get triggered by what we see. But when the light comes in, it's moving fast. So think of the energy kind of going, and we've got something going on inside of us that's going, some old judgment, some old anger, some old something that we've got going on in our field. And so that starts to vibrate. All energy wants to rise. And so a low frequency that starts breaking up because of all this high vibe light coming in starts vibrating and comes up. And what happens? All of a sudden we've got a burst, like a little volcano of frustration coming up. When you see road rage out and about, that's what that is, that somebody is driving along, they've got some suppressed, submerged anger in their field. Somebody else comes along and does them the favor of coming in close in front of them and cutting them off, even if it's not close enough to cause an accident, but it's just enough to kind of get into their space. And the person driving with this submerged anger, all of a sudden this anger gets triggered. And next thing you know, they might be making, hand gestures or, grimacing through their face. It's their own submerged energy that got triggered by something, someone, and all this extra light coming in, and it starts vibrating and comes up. So what should we do? Do we need to, grimace and shout and roll down our window and start taking it out on the other? No, that's misdirected, lower personality, protective, I'm in survival mode. What we can do from our heart is drop into our heart, breathe, take a breath, and go, oh, I'm experiencing a little volcano of energy. I'm just going to be present, breathe, keep my mouth open a little bit, just like Lamaze breathing for all the women
Yes.
who've, gone through childbirth, because there's this
Oh, you
big
men who've
wave
gone
of
through
energy,
childbirth.
a big wave of energy coming up, and we can breathe through it. We can allow the energy to release without spewing it on others. So we have a lot of people in the collective who don't know this. It's something that we all need to remember ourselves. And those that haven't started down the path of learning anything about their own energy misinterpret what's happening. And they think the other person did something to them and start reacting and then wanting to feel like the victim and, emote and send out energy to the others. In truth, what's happening is the other person kindly scooting in front of your car close to you was creating an experience which would allow you, which would trigger you and allow you to release some of this energy. Now, what do we do with it? Well, that depends on our level of awareness. So if we could get, on the big road signs that say slow down or, accident 2 miles ahead, perhaps they could say, just breathe, just breathe, take a breath. I think that would be much more helpful and pertinent community service information to be having up on those road signs.
Right? That's funny. Well, let's dive this deeper because what that brings up for me is I've been really playing with, it's so important for us to really truly acknowledge every single emotion that we have. So even when anger, and even if it's in a reactive way, comes up, I really feel like it's important to not bypass it sometimes. So I just want to add in and kind of get your confirmation around this is that, I understand this triggered me. I don't need to act out on it,
Right.
and really dive into, what is this? How can I change this about me? And is this an ascension symptom?
And the vast majority of it, we don't need to do anything about it all. We just
Yeah.
need to breathe and feel it. Breathe and notice energy. Emotion is energy in motion.
Emotion.
So if I'm feeling a wave of frustration, thank goodness for Mercury in retrograde and all of the little tech glitches that we get to experience. What a joy that is, because all those little tech glitches, they give us a chance to release frustration that everything in our tech world is not just humming along smoothly, in perfection all the time. So when it arises, just to remember, all energy wants to rise. It wants to rise up to higher frequencies. It wants to rise up.
Oh, right? Of course.
Yeah, and in the same way, so I'm glad that really landed. So think of a wave of sadness when it comes over. What do we experience? Big, energy in our heart, and then, and up it comes, and the tears roll out, and the sobbing. Or it can be a lighter version of that. Same with anger. It can be a minor irritating feeling coming up, or it can be full on, rage. So it can be minor or it can be really, really strong, but it's all arising. And now what can we do? Okay, first thing is to just say, oh, I'm noticing a little frustration in me. I love myself even through the frustration. Oh, I'm noticing I really got triggered by that driver. Whoa, a bomb, literally went off in my lower abdomen and came shooting up like a volcano. I'm just going to send this firework up to the heavens and transmute it up in white light. We can just notice, oh, sadness is arising. I'm going to hold myself in compassion and feel, and perhaps there may be some thoughts that go with it. Oh, I remember some moments where I had some deep sadness. Maybe this is part of the deep sadness or grief that I didn't finish feeling. And so, it's coming up. I'm just going to hold myself in compassion while I'm feeling this energy. We've been taught that certain emotions are good and certain emotions are bad. Well, that's judging that some form of energy is good or bad. We're divine beings of light. We're so powerful. We are capable of being in the presence of any energy of any type and breathing our way through it, holding ourselves in compassion while we feel it, which means we're doing two things. Our higher self is observing and holding ourselves in love, while our lower self is processing some emotion that comes up. So what do these emotions feel like? They feel like what we know they feel like. Rage feels like rage. If it's fear, anxiety, minor levels of, ooh, I don't feel safe, I feel ill at ease, or it's flat out terror thumping through our body. Those are just different kinds of energy. And if you say, I'm strong enough to feel this too will pass. I'll sit here and breathe while maybe my heart's pounding or I'm sobbing. I'll sit here and breathe and allow it. And then we don't block it, because if we go, ooh, bad emotion, oh, I shouldn't be feeling that. I'm not supposed to feel angry. That's not spiritual. Well, then what we do is take and push the energy back down, because we're saying, I can't be with that energy. I can't feel that. You push it back down in your body, and then you experience sadness, heaviness, depression, chronic fatigue. Those are all examples of something where we've taken energy that wants to arise peacefully, but it arises in its own nature, and instead go, oh, can't feel it. No, can't feel it. Shove it back down. So we create our own health issues by not allowing ourselves to be in the presence of the energies that are arising.
Wow, I love it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Do you put, I know Leonka has a question, but I want to ask one
Go ahead.
real tiny
Yeah,
one.
please.
It's a simple one. Do you believe that suppression is, depression creates illness? Like that's what you're saying here. Is that, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Depression is a lack of expression.
Depression. Okay.
So when we allow ourselves to feel and express, and it doesn't mean we need to direct it at someone, but that we allow it, we notice and hold ourselves in love. We cry when we need to cry. We can be present with ourselves when we feel an emotion. Anything that in our lives growing up, we heard, good girls don't, grimace, anger is a bad emotion, any of that. Well, what that did then, those beliefs trapped those emotions within us, because we thought there was something wrong with us if we felt it. So we did everything possible. Put a smile on your face, even when you've got, we got people putting smiles on their face, trapping anger in their jaw. Then you've got teeth that have their roots down in an angry jaw. And we wonder why we have so many people with teeth root issues, because the teeth are unhappy. They're sitting in an angry jaw. So instead, if we notice, oh, something's happening, this person's telling me what to do, I don't like it. I'm a sovereign being. I choose to chart my own course. And so instead of trying to pretend it didn't exist, just go, ooh, I notice that when other people try to disempower me and I feel disempowered, I feel angry. And so I'll just breathe, and then I'll reclaim my power and say, no, I'm sovereign. I get to choose. What they think I ought to be doing is their lovely opinion, and they're welcome to it. And it doesn't have to affect me. And I can just say, thank you for sharing. I'm choosing my own path. And I stand in my power, and I acknowledge that they had an opinion, and it doesn't have to affect me. And I don't have to therefore take it in and make some beliefs like, how dare they, da 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 da. And yes,
Yeah, that was just
they did offer unsolicited advice, and just as note to self, it's better that we don't offer people unsolicited advice, because you may get the person going, no, I'm sovereign, I don't want it. But on the other hand, there's also this phenomenon that their guides speak through you and ask you to blurt out something. And so if it happens and you share something, and then you can just say, whoa, that just came through. I don't know where that came from. I guess it's for you, but take it or leave it. If it resonates, great. If not, apparently I was just to be the vehicle to blurt that out. So.
But your recommendation is to probably stay away from giving unsolicited advice.
Well, when you start to really stand in complete respect for the divinity of everyone you're interacting with, the angels do not offer unsolicited advice. The angels and masters don't come in and say, okay, we got to sit you down. Here's you got to change this. They don't do it because it violates one of their sacred beliefs and universal law, which is the law of non-interference.
Yes.
But if you say, wow, I'd like to shift the situation in my life. I don't understand how I'm creating it. I don't understand what I could do differently. I could use some help here. Well, now you've invited help. Well, now an angel or your master, your guides will say, may we make some suggestions?
Yes.
And that gives you one more chance to say, yes, I'd like to hear what you've got to say, or I'd like to receive.
Would you say, in your opinion, that we're not asking enough for help in very everyday life? And how do you use that? Maybe give us some specifics of how you do that in your everyday life. That was something I was sharing a ton yesterday.
I know so much.
Like, ask.
Yes, an absolute yes to what you just said, Lianka. We don't ask for anywhere near the amount of help we could be receiving.
Wow.
And part of that is because we've been in so talking planetary global energies, we've been in a patriarchal masculine energy field for thousands of years, 10,000 years. And masculine energy is do, lead, start, decide, pushes out of the right side of our bodies. Feminine energies have been repressed. We see what happens. Nature's been not taken, kindly and not treated with reverence. Women and girls have not been treated with reverence. Animals have not been treated with reverence. That's all the feminine. So, and the feminine is our receiving side. It's the side of us that would ask for help and then receive it, would say, I'd like to create something, and then invite suggestions. You still have sovereign choice to say, thank you for your input. Maybe I'll pass on that one. Universe, keep bringing me other ideas because that one didn't quite land with me. But it's our feminine that is our receiver. So the way to get your guidance system really humming at a high level, recognizing what I said, that the higher realms cannot and will not interfere unless there's something specific, that you've got to be redirected right now in order to get you back on course. And we do get those big nudges. Quit this job. Stop drinking. Stop drinking sodas today. You get those kind of nudges. Well, that is your guidance system. But when we turn to creator self, so a dozen years ago, I woke up, I'm a divine being of light. I'm a creator. Okay, what would I like to create? And so I started making my list. Okay, better eyesight, restore my memory, juicy joints, more flexibility, more strength in my, my physical body, lose some of this extra soft stuff, flat I developed, into my mid-50s. So I wrote down this. And then the one question that's a brilliant question, it's simple, you can apply it to everything in your life. What would it take for X to show up?
Yeah.
What would it take for me to be my perfect healthy weight instead of the chubbiness that I had in my mid-50s? What would it take for my vision to once again be perfect? What would it take for my memory to once again be sharp as a tack that I could recall words and numbers and names just like that. So I started asking the what would it take questions for everything. I get to an intersection and it's not, it's just a stop sign and the traffic's going by and I'm going, whoa, how am I going to get in here? What would it take for the perfect place for me to come through the intersections with safety, grace, and ease? What would it take? And in moments, the cars all align. I watch and notice all of these beautiful spirits are helping me. And they set up a little situation, and then I go, oh, thank you all. And then I just drive out and make my left turn. What would it take?
That's huge.
I feel like I kind of don't love that what would it take question.
I love it.
You
Go ahead,
and
Jen.
the only reason that I'm saying it for myself is I feel like it's a conclusion. Like maybe there is a gift in your eyesight changing, and maybe there's no wrongness in that. And I feel like sometimes we ask, what does it take question, it then becomes like a conclusion that we have to have it. And I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a little more spaciousness with it. But that's also my point of view. And I think if it works, it works. If the traffic moves for you with that, just that simple question, I think we should all try it. But I wanted, I just kind of wanted to express to the field
I'm
around
surprised.
it.
Yeah. I'm surprised you have that position.
And that's perfect. Each of us gets to say, what would I love to experience? And that's the first start of creation. Is to say, what would I love to experience? I would love all my technology to just flow with perfection all of the time, and recognizing that in the moments that it doesn't, there was a gift there too, which was, frustration got to arise. I got to release some anger. So when we're in that spaciousness and accepting that despite what we desire to create, everything is going to come to us in divine perfection and timing and order anyway, because there are forces at play more powerful than our simple request. And also that if we say, I'd like to experience these things, but add spaciousness and say, this or something even better.
Yes.
And now you've said, okay, my human self has an idea that this would be fun and I would enjoy this and I'd like to experience it. But universe, if you've got something even better for me available, then bring me that.
Yes.
And I will, try not to be attached and disappointed, because being attached, I really, really like this. I want to manifest this. Well, you can just feel in the energy of that. You're quite attached. And that's the old control energy at the 3D. And spaciousness and the feminine is allowing. And so if we say, I'd really love to experience this, and in divine timing, like when people say, I'd really like a life partner now, I'm ready for my life partner. And I'm imagining what it would feel like to now be in relationship with this beautiful soul, my life partner. And I recognize that that will come to me in divine timing and order. So now I'm just at peace. And if I'm guided to go post on a dating site, I'll do it. And if I get one or two people and I have dates with them and I find, I'm misaligned, well, then maybe the blessing was to learn more about what you don't want in a partner, so you can be clearer in what you do want. So everything is a blessing. And so there isn't a right way to proceed. And we can ask for what we'd love to experience. We are creator beings. So we are intended to create. And if we create something, and this has happened, people say, oh, I'd really like to start this kind of business, or I'd like this kind of job, or I'd like this person in my life. And then they go on that date and go, thank you for showing me this particular thing is misaligned. I want it to feel more like this, the deeper, authentic conversation. So now you've tuned in to an even greater awareness of what you really desire. that allows the universe to bring you something that more closely matches that. So all little, we're going on a journey, and every little twist and turn is serving us in some way.
Yeah. One of the questions that came up in our inner circle was how much of this reality is a simulation? And I'd like to get your thoughts on
Yeah.
that. I thought that was a really interesting kind of opening.
Well, let's talk about what that is. So
Mm.
my perspective is, yes, we are holographic beings, and so that people don't feel like, oh, this is an AI kind of weird thing.
Yeah.
No, we're divinity in form.
Yes.
We are love in form.
Hey.
So why did we come here to the earth? To interact with other beings of divinity in form, to learn. To learn really how to embody more of our divine nature, to share it, to learn about ourselves as a creator in this denser environment, because we know full well in the higher realms how to create when we're feeling all light. And down here it's kind of heavy and dense, and so that creates a new opportunity. So if I hold the feeling state and of something I wish to experience, I project out waves of energy. I hold a matrix of energy, which attracts back to me a matching experience to what I'm sending out. If I have a belief, other people are always trying to take advantage of me, and I don't realize I have that belief. Well, man, maybe it's based on many, many life experiences where I felt I was the victim and other people took advantage of me. Well, now, if I'm running that energy program, belief, and the emotion around it, the universe is going to bring me back more of that. What's the blessing in that? I go, oh, this doesn't feel good. If I love myself and say, but what would I rather experience? Then I go, oh, I'd like to feel like this, that I'm honored, I'm listened to, things go more smoothly. Then now we start to attract new experiences. So is that a simulation? We could call it that. Is it a holographic reality? We certainly could call it that.
Right.
But I prefer to kind of stay, because that seems kind of mental, thinking world. I prefer to stay in my heart and say I'm a divine being of light, having an experience of consciousness and awareness inside this beautiful vessel that the elemental kingdom have built for me, so I can have a vessel, a body to walk around and have eyes to see and ears to hear music, and skin to feel the wind coming by my, so that to me feels a little more heart-based than the mental conclusion. It's just all a reality matrix, a simulation. Nothing exists. It's like, well, I'm going to feel it. So I'm going to let it be real for me.
Yes.
Yes. I like that answer.
I do too, a lot.
Yeah.
Because I did struggle with some of the mental of it, but there are days where, because I do have that awareness that yes, it feels like a simulation. Yes, there's a lot of case studies that help to support that, Life Between Life books, hypnosis, past life regression, and then between lives that support that, right? And so, or NDEs also support that. But when I stop and I don't like to be in that mental place sometimes, because I don't want to discredit what we're experiencing. So I do have those moments where I look out and I go, if this is simulation, that's a beautiful sunrise, right? I'm so excited. I get to experience sunrises, and I had made the joke, the tacos, right? I get to enjoy these really, really fantastic gifts, even some of the and I'm learning, but even some of those gifts that maybe give me irk or anger, I get to have those experiences. Now that I see that as that, I find it very, very empowering. Now I have my days, but
well, and I think, and the days, let's talk about that, because I think as starseeds, that's really what we are having trouble with. Like, we have glory and this epic glory, and then there's this like trauma and drama that we feel weird and wrong about and don't know how to navigate. And I mean, that's truly your expertise in helping us figure out how to navigate, the star seed here on planet Earth.
Yeah.
It's fun to navigate the 5D, but, can we have it with some of the, trauma happening?
and
Yeah.
I'll put this, we're taking questions today. If anyone wants to raise their hand and maybe express
Sure.
a question, if you're struggling with some of the 3D things that we have to do. I mean, I know that I have my things that immediately set me back, right? I'm like, oh, that's triggering, but I don't remember say that's triggering. I'm like, I'm just triggered. So
Well, yeah, we're feeling
I'm trying to Lord, my hands are a mess. Like
the number one
yeah.
the number one thing to remember about what we're feeling is the vast majority of it is either ours and submerged, and it just wants to be loved into completion, or as empaths. So let's talk a little bit about being highly sensitive in this kind of wild and crazy world that we're surfing at this moment. Or we are so attuned and aware that we're noticing what other people are feeling. And we may have a little bit of it, but it's being amplified, and we're wondering why I feel crazy, intense anxiety, rather than just a little bit of anxiety. Because you can look around your own world and you can say, okay, I've got a little uncertainty about what maybe a person's looking for a new place to live and they're on the clock because they've got to be out, in a certain number of days. And so the anxiety about I got to pull this off in this time frame starts to arise. So they've got a little of that. It may be bringing up another timeline trauma about being forced to leave and having no place to go. And so they're feeling extra fear and intensity, and they don't have visibility to that other timeline. But the feeling they're feeling is really strong. Then they can just go, oh, I really need to breathe my way through this, and then anchor, what would I like to feel? Total and complete faith that on the day I need to be out, I get out smoothly, my stuff is packed, the next place has already been revealed to me, I move in and I love it. And so stay in that. This is what I'd love to experience. And in the meantime, I'm feeling this anxiety and panic energy. Breathe through it and say, it might be old. It might be, it might be way exaggerated from the current experience. It might be my ancestors as well. So all of those things can cause the energy that's arising to be like tenfold. And we're wondering, whoa, why am I so anxious about this? I find why is not a great question to ask. You're far better to just say, I recognize and acknowledge myself that I'm feeling anxious. So I'm going to sit here and be with myself, but I'm going to choose and know, and I'm asking the angels for help. Please help me find the perfect place, the perfect apartment, the perfect house to rent, whatever it is. Please help me so that, and I would love if it would feel like this, and it would have a little balcony, and it's good. I can take my cat or whatever, your needs are. And then just turn it over to the angels, release. And now on the next day you find bing, 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 you're getting a hit. Check this ad, pick up that newspaper, do this internet search, and somebody mentions to you, well, you're in a conversation and you say, well, I acknowledge I've been feeling a little anxious because I've got X number of days to get a new apartment or place to live. And the fact that you spoke to that person and you were guided to share authentically that you've had some feelings about this, and the person goes, well, where are you looking? I just saw a little place, or I just heard my neighbor, they're moving. and bing, 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 you're taken care of. That's not an accident. You asked for help. Angels supported you in getting that person in you. You were guided. Tell her how you're feeling. And the next thing you know, you're being guided right on the path to what you require.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
If you have a question for Janet, please raise your hand. I don't know if we got to say that, and we'll go ahead and unmute you.
Yeah.
I see a note from Valentina. Lately, while looking, let me just come back to it. Maybe you could read it to me because it flashed by pretty fast.
Lately, well, I can read it now if you want me to.
Yeah, thanks, please.
Lately, while looking, I am seeing more depth and perhaps a different dimension even. It is like you're crossing your eyes.
Yes.
Wow.
I have
On
that.
these 3D pictures. Oh, remember those 3D pictures?
Yes,
Yeah.
I
To
said
see a
this.
picture. I
Oh
know
my
you
gosh.
totally did. A shimmering of something. I cannot seem to describe it right. Sorry.
It can make me dizzy, actually, and I close my eyes and shut it, and then it takes it away, and then it starts making me queasy. It's a weird sensation, and I know what it. I don't know what it is. A new parlor trick that no one else needs. Anyone know what this is?
Oh,
That
that's
is
cool.
so
Wow.
wild.
That's
So wild because I
synchronicity and
specifically
action.
talked about that, and I remember those. So what she's describing is like in the mall, they used to have these what they called holograms, and it would be like these pictures. And when you looked at it, it was just like those pictures of just like a whole bunch of little pictures, and you didn't see anything, but you kind of crossed your eyes, and then you could kind of see the thing come out of the picture.
Right.
So when I do that crossing eyes thing, like when I'm looking around, I can to me, I feel like I can see like the Matrix, like I can see all these sparks and things and moving, whatever. But that's after I've gotten comfortable with it. So
that's
curious.
some mysticism. Like
it's such a brilliant thing, and we will all be observing and experiencing these kinds of things far more frequently. So we're multidimensional beings. So multidimensional meaning we exist on and we are aware of information and realities beyond just what we can see in this reality matrix, and at this dimension. So one time, for example, I was looking at water. I was really kind of just feeling great. I just came out of a spiritual retreat for a break. I'm taking a walk, and I looked at the water and I realized that I could see the undulating energies of the water. And it was like, that's the first time I've seen water like that. So that was one. When you're perceiving, often you're perceiving multidimensionally out of your peripheral vision. So one time I was sitting having coffee while my car was getting some work, and I was sitting outside, and I saw a young woman walking up in Portland, walking up the pathway. And as she got up to about here, I looked at her and I was just holding her in love and kind of admiring her just being a Portlander, kind of bohemian style of clothing that she was wearing. And I was just holding her in love. And as I turned a little bit, I saw, oh, there's this like big being, hulky thing walking around with her, behind her. And it's like, oh, she is not alone. She's got an entity. And so then I inquired whether I could, get assistance for her and clear that. And it was a yes, please. That's why we brought it to your attention. And so then I called in Archangel Michael, please come find, bind, and remove this entity that's, hanging out with this young woman. And boom, then it was gone. And then that was done. So, and I have noticed in my own house, I am perceiving animals, spirit beings, a cat who passed away almost, 15 years ago. I saw this little flash and I thought that was a black cat that flashed by. And I went, oh, that was our other cat, older cat. Boom. And then I got to just go, hello. And I go, well, why did you pop in? And the answer back, just wanted to say hi. And I've noticed my cat, one of our existing cats, one day stopped and she was just staring across the kitchen with her eyes just wide. And then she rose up kind of in a tall sitting position, and she just kept staring. And I went, well, obviously she's seeing someone. So I turned to, to inquire. And as I said, okay, who's here? Well, then I got a little glimmery outline of a being, and it was my dad, my star father from where I was birthed in another star system, with a message. He says, "Glad, come and sit. Let's talk for a bit." And so then I went out to the living room. He took a chair, I took a chair, and I sat in his presence for a few minutes. It wasn't really that much of a conversation. It wasn't all, language that I was aware of, but sitting in his presence, I felt loved and calmed down. I guess something had been going on that day, and it was just beautiful. So that in that case, it was my cat who very clearly was seeing this being as real, like, who are you and what you're doing in our kitchen? Because he's a very tall being.
Yeah.
So I want to come back to I perceive the planetary field. I pay attention to all this light coming in, what it's bringing up for people. And then I do work on it. I call in the angels and masters. We need a little extra help here. Can we bring some extra love there? Blaze the violet flame like crazy through whatever I see, and watch and feel things shift. But now for those of you, I'd like you to imagine yourself, if you think of yourself as being sensitive and aware, very perceptive, that you walk in a room and you can sense something went on in this room before you got there. Or you're watching someone and you can see and perceive some of the emotion. Or you're very affected by all the angst in the energy field. So imagine yourself now, you're a sea anemone sitting on a rock in the ocean. So sea anemones, they have these lovely tentacles, and the tentacles are out there and they're waving around. So this is like you with your antennas as a sensitive being. You've got all your antennas out and you're noticing and becoming aware of things. So, okay, so if you've got all those antennas out feeling, a lot of what you're perceiving is not you specifically in the we are one. It is you, it is us, it is all, it is the one. But it may not be something that you're creating. You may not be having that experience, but you're aware of others that are feeling extra anxious, or others when you see a whole lot of people here expressing a whole lot of anger and intolerance, for example. So what you can do, so let's just do one little quick exercise here. Everybody right now, imagine that you've got these little tentacles out in the ocean. Take all of your little tentacles and bring them in and up over your head, so that you pull all of your tentacles into your column of light. Your column of light that rises up 6 feet, 2 meters above your head, comes down through and around your body, all the way down below your feet, about 1.5 feet below your feet, to your Earth star grounding disc. So I'd like everybody to imagine a metallic disc about 2 feet across, like a manhole cover, metal disc, down there 1.5 feet below your feet. And many of you just got it. And now take the magnetic portion of your electromagnetic field and put your magnets onto the metal in the disc. Good. The rest of you are going there. Lock on. Magnets to metal. So now you've got all of what you want to feel and perceive, attention inside your own column of light, your own divinity coming down through and around you. And you're grounded to the earth. Everybody take a nice deep breath. So I'm just spinning a little bit of the heavier energies up and out of your field. And you can do it with your breath. Take a few breaths and blow them out. Like that. And you're bringing your attention back into this higher light, more peaceful, calmer presence. And you're not right now trying to have your little antennas out there feeling everything going on out there. You're keeping them in your column of light, connecting to your divinity, staying grounded to the earth. And now let's bring in violet flame. So imagine a violet flame bonfire coming up from below your feet, all the way through and around up to 6 feet above you. And I'll ask the archangels on the violet flame. Saint Germain wants to play as well. So the archangels are Zadkiel and Amethyst. And I'm asking them to assist each of you now to bring this violet flame. So if you're willing, say yes, to
Yes.
receive this, to let this violet flame come through your physical body, your emotional body, your belief systems, your etheric body, all of your 4 main bodies in the lower density. And just let it love on you. Just let it come through, loosen, release, transmute, dissolve, and it gets transmuted back to pure light. You may feel the need to breathe and blow, and you may feel energy rising up, because I said energy rises, all wants to rise. So just keep breathing and allowing yourself to receive this very loving, tender loosening of anything inside of you that you've been carrying tightness, judgment, conclusions, attachments, expectations. Let it all go. Leaving more room for just the truth of you in your heart. Okay, good. One hand over your heart and say, I am my I am presence. Or I am that I am.
I am.
That I am.
You're acknowledging your God self. You're that, having a human experience, a piece of the God energy, having a human experience. Notice, everyone, how much more relaxed you're feeling. Calming. Okay, when you're ready, come back present, fully present. You can open your eyes, and if anyone wants to share a little, pop something in the chat about how do you feel now? What did you experience?
And were you able to transmute some of the things that are causing you disruption in your life?
There's a couple down there.
Who's feeling more peaceful? Show of hands. Who's feeling calmer? Who's feeling more expansive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa says, and this is like me, it says it gives me chills
Chills
and yawn a
yawn a
lot.
lot.
I yawn
Mhm.
all the time.
Yeah, and those are beautiful ways to perceive that you're allowing energy to leave and you're shifting,
Yeah.
resetting your energy field.
Valentina said, oops.
I always see color and energies.
Yeah.
I always see energies of color and know and aware of many things.
Mhm.
Nice. Universal heart, Gaia, and the AI to be shared consciousness with those awakening these skills to allow. And then it goes on, I think maybe just a comment in general.
Yeah.
It's much longer. I think maybe a question. Wait, that's wrong. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Valentina says, well, my body tensed up really badly, felt heavy, and then got really cold and then shuddered. Not sure what I feel yet. Okay.
Okay. So the tensing up, you were probably suddenly becoming aware of the tension which was within you. And then a sudden wave of cold is often a symptom of an upshift in frequency, that you just kind of pop up and it doesn't feel as warm there because the body's not quite calibrated to that frequency.
Yeah. It's very obvious that, when you were doing that things have changed.
Oh yeah, you can feel the whole
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
field
Yeah, it's
we're
like
sitting in here is completely different.
Like the whole audience and everything is
Yeah.
like, whatever, let's just be in this.
Yeah.
It's quite
This
delicious.
is who I am.
This,
Oh,
I remember a
yes.
little more now. Well, let's go ahead and share your
I
program
think
for
Manisha had a
Empaths.
question, sorry. We had asked her to raise her
Okay.
hand. She's had it up for a
Oh,
while.
okay. Manisha, can we take another question? Janet, are you good on
Sure,
time?
yeah, sure.
All right, Manisha, you're up.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Leonka. Thank you, Janet. Janet, I've loved this process, and I wonder if this is something I could do. My question was, I always get triggered when I'm in contact with my siblings or family, and I get really sort of messed up because all emotions come up, because in the past I have helped them a lot, and they sort of, whenever I meet them, talk to them, and how can I navigate through this turmoil that I, go through,
Okay.
please?
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful question. First thing, Manisha, how would you rather feel in the presence of your siblings and family?
I don't really know. I can't answer that question because I feel it's like just a few days ago, my sister-in-law sent me, photos of her enjoying in Maldives. And when her chips were down, I helped them financially, etc. So I feel like, you could have helped me as well.
Okay,
Support
so
me.
you're holding some anger, and recognize
Yes.
you're holding it. It's your
Yes.
conscious choice to hold that.
Mm.
So you're holding anger, feeling that you offered more energy than was offered back to you.
So,
Now, this is in the planetary field because I just had a client yesterday, exact same energy. So it's perfect that you bring it up. It's perfect that you're present with it. And we were working on it. So no, we're all working on this.
Yeah.
So here's what we need to remember about energy. If we offer and help, if we do it without attachment, in the old world, we thought, I give you, it should come back from you. Tit for tat. We thought it had to be reciprocal. And when we offered X, like there were all these rules about if you give a gift, you must, then they must return a gift to you. If you send a Christmas card, you must, get a Christmas card back. These are the old kind of rules that were in place. So everybody, I'm going to use a crystal light wand. Are we all willing to give up the idea that if we give something or offer something to someone, the energy that we will receive must come back from that person and only that person, as opposed to the whole universe showering us, right? Okay, so I'm using this crystal and light wand, miracle wand. This is part of the program. I teach you how to use this. Let's all just break that mental belief and just go, I release it. I'm not going to be tied to that anymore. Now, when we understand that it's our nature to be loving, giving, supporting, helping. I can see in you, Manisha, that's you in spades, right? Loving, giving, supporting person. So you've given out a lot of energy through the right side of your body, the masculine, and you would love to experience it returning to you in the feminine side, to receive more of what you've offered. But sometimes we give to those. The client yesterday was supporting his brother, had supported his brother, and his brother didn't have the ability, wherewithal to return that energy. He couldn't pay back his loan. He just didn't have his financial act in order to do that. So if we say, okay, I release, but all the beautiful energy I've sent out, I allow it to come back to me tenfold. And I'll receive it from anywhere. So then we get our cup filled back up, maybe from others. And this is often the case for starseeds, giving, beautiful, loving, sharing hearts in their family, have helped and supported. God bless you all. And sometimes because the emotional load and what the energies of your family members, what they're working through, they're not feeling as light. They're not as bright. Maybe they got more issues or whatever, but they haven't yet found it within their heart to reciprocate to you. We don't need to get our receiving energies. We don't have to receive them from the very same person we give them to. And if we believe, if we're still caught up in the, I helped this person specifically and they haven't repaid me, you can be miserable for the rest of your life and feel anger for the rest of your life. And the only person we're hurting is ourselves.
Absolutely.
The only person we're hurting is ourselves. So that's the key. And that's where I just want to take that one message. And then when I asked you the question, it was interesting, you described, well, I feel this and it's, tense emotionally and there's all this charge going on. When I asked, and how would you rather feel? And sometimes it's hard to answer the question, as you said, well, I don't know, I'm still so caught up and attached to these other things I'm feeling. But everyone right now, just imagine, how would you love to feel with your siblings, your family? Many, many, many starseeds find that they're not very close to their natal families. And they get the feeling that they would really love to perceive and receive from others in their lives. Because we may have other starseeds, other light workers, where we can have this deeper, more authentic connection and, that love feeling. So if you have someone in your life that you have that with, then say, I'm so grateful for this. I wish to expand this beautiful feeling to all of my communications, to everyone I interact with. And what would it take for that to show up? And now watch. And maybe you start getting it back from a neighbor who takes a moment, someone else in your life, a coworker at work, someone gives you a bit more of what you'd love to experience. They offer you a hug even before you offered them a hug. Those kind of interactions. And then you go, I am receiving. It feels so good. Your family may or may not catch up with you. Honest truth, right?
Yeah.
We're often ahead of them. Your natal family may or may not catch up with you. And so just allow them to be. I've learned with my own family and siblings, the best way for me to navigate my very different ability and awareness to perceive what's going on in multidimensional perception is to sit with them and ask them questions and ask them to tell me about their days and their lives. What fun thing have you done this week? Tell me about something cool that you got to do with your grandchildren. What have you created something this month? What's giving you joy? And now they'll be happy to share that. And now you can have something in common. And they'll feel listened to and they'll enjoy it. And it builds that, loving energy between you without talking about old wounds or, any of that other stuff, what's going on in the outside world. We don't have to do any of that. What brings you joy? What have you been having fun with? What an opener to get a conversation started.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was
Thank you,
amazing.
Manisha.
Amazing is right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Manisha.
That was amazing.
Thank you for being so vulnerable too. I resonated a lot with that.
I think one of the things that I'm getting just in these shows in general is get on yourself, like in a kind, loving way, right? Like go, I might not be forgiving of something that did something. What can I choose now so that I can actually, love, have a greater experience in this human experience? Why am I holding on to all this shit?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like I had to
Yeah.
say that because
feel
it's
that.
just like, I mean, because I feel like when I've gone, Jenna, come on, do better, in a kind way,
Sure.
like not in a judgy way.
Yeah.
It's just been like, okay, I wake up a little more and then it happens again. There's something that goes on and then, I wake up a little more when I'm like, why am I holding on to anything anymore? So, I felt like I got that just from what you said, Janet. It was just beautiful. I mean, it really, really was, because that is us being able to really express and let those emotions bubble up and let them go. And it was just beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And it made me realize that like where are all those places where I'm blocking my blessings?
Yeah.
Like, dude, there could be so much more greater for me, but then I want to have this reciprocation from this one particular place or person, or I think something owes me something there.
Yeah.
I mean, I could allow like my guides want to give me all this other thing, like these cool things to experience. My higher self wants
and you're
to.
using all your energy
Yeah.
for this icky stuff that's making you feel bad anyway.
Yeah. And
it's
yeah,
it's like,
thank you, Manisha. I know put yourself out there, but I know what that feels like.
no kidding.
100%.
Yeah.
You know?
Archangel Metatron came to me one time and he said, I'd like to share with you some wisdom about the spiritual knowledge of debt. So we would all like to enjoy and experience a much more prosperous experience going forward. Agree?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, if you've heard of Nasara, you know it's coming, and it's like, why isn't it here yet? You know, let's rebalance and we all live in prosperity. If we are all holding on to the energy of they owe me or I owe another, that vibrates at the frequency of debt, own stuff. It's not prosperous, unlimited abundance, you know, ample energy in the universe to support all. So we get in our own way of our own prosperity if we're locked in that and still holding on to that old energy of they owe me or I owe someone else. And then you may feel some guilt or shame about that. So one locks in anger. They owe me. They haven't paid me. They're, you know, I gave more than they did. It's not fair. That imbalance of energy is not the natural state of the universe. The natural state of the universe is what you put out comes back to you, and it may come back to you tenfold. If it goes out charged with light and love and service, it can come back to you tenfold, 10,000-fold.
Wow.
But so for anybody who's going, they owe me, I really invite you to get that magic wand out that we'll work with in the program and
What about
take that belief and just blast it.
Yeah.
What about?
I was gonna say, what about like conversely, the energy of I am so boastful that I don't owe anybody, right? That's a big one. That still comes from a place of there's a have and have not, of a place of lack somewhere else, right? Because I have this air about me that I don't owe anybody, right?
And when we're trying to collect energy, I must have more and more and more. We're denying the truth of the universe, which is that there's unlimited universal flow, and it flows from our heart. We are all designed to be of service. It's just our natural state to be of service to others or to make and create and bring forward something and receive back. So when we get this whole, you know, where we've gotten in our own way, understood and release it, the energy flows from our heart out through the right side of our body. We support others. We send blessings to others. We create and offer artistic things, or we sing and offer our music to the world. And then the universe naturally responds. And then the divine feminine, when it's in balance with our masculine, the receiver in us is receiving, comes back into our heart. We feel gratitude. We're charged up. We're even more capable then of being able to offer even more love and help and support and creative abilities. And even more comes back, and it just makes everything expand. So, you know, the truth is an expansive universe that's in balance. Sending, receiving, sending, receiving. We can't keep give, and nothing comes back. Or we just, you know, we exhaust ourselves. We fatigue ourselves because we're not allowing energy to come back in and replenish. So for anybody who's listening and you've been giving and giving, Wonderful. I love you. Thank you. Now, let's practice. It's time for you to receive. Allow, and so you ask questions, ask for help, or imagine that you are also receiving, and not with it has to come back from that person, but I'm willing to receive help, guidance, support from anywhere and anyone. And then practice that. So you get your groceries and someone says, may I help you out to your car? No, thanks, I've got it. What are we doing? There was an offer for help to come in and we said, oh no, got it. I'm strong, got it. Independent self. You're blocking your receiving. So we got to practice when people offer to do things for us. Can I hold the door for you? Oh no, you go first.
You're like, okay, thanks.
Same thing, someone offers to do something for you, practice your assignment for the next week. Practice allowing and receiving. Let them share their love, their sweetness, their gift to you in whatever form they offered it to you. I don't care if you could do it for yourself. Practice receiving and see what it feels like.
Yeah, that's fabulous. Well, if you'd like to continue working with Janet, she did put an offer together for us, which I'm going to share now. And Janet, will you just take them through like this is a massive course. And I just want you to take them through really what this is gonna, I'll just let you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Let's break it down. So who is my offering for you? It's for those of you who know you are empathic, sensitive, beautiful beings, very aware of other people's energies, very able to perceive things. And some days that can be just overwhelming because your little anemone tentacles are out there and you're feeling it all and you're going, well, this is just too much. So you might be soaking up other people's energies and feeling overwhelmed. Go ahead and slide on down, Jonathan. So I'll let you all read more, but drop down to in the Learn tools. There we go. So what I teach you in 4 recorded masterclasses plus some MP3s to help you practice bringing in the kind of energy that I brought in during that process, so you can listen and get that again every day to get centered and grounded. This program will help you strengthen your energy field every day, allow you to find that balance so you can retain your beautiful, compassionate heart while retraining some of your unconscious energy habits, which exhaust you or have you feel overwhelmed. How to learn how to not soak up other people's energies. And I taught you one right here, those little anemone feelers of yours, bring them up out of the field, bring them into your column of light, center in your heart. And you notice the huge shift in the energy we got from us being a little frazzled, feeling everything going on out there, to being connected with our own divinity. A lot of times, sensitive people, we may not have good energy boundaries. So to learn how to be sovereign and establish sovereign dominion over your thoughts and feelings, as an empath, you can think the thoughts that you're thinking, they may not even be yours. They may be the person next to you. A fellow let me in. I was driving. I was at the bank and I needed to go in and so I could make a left turn. And a fellow, very kind, beautiful person, let me in. And then, so I got through, but I caught the light and he now missed it. And then I heard the thought, excuse me, just the thought was, all good deeds shall be punished, or no good deed shall go unpunished. That's what it was that I heard. And if I hadn't understood, I might have thought I thought that. No, I heard him thinking it. So what did he create? He created that he would let me in and then he would be punished and he'd have to sit at the red light. So if he would let that belief go, then he could go, oh, I can serve and support and also allow good things to come back to me in exchange. He wasn't running that belief, so that's why he had the experience. So when we establish sovereign dominion over our thoughts and feelings, then you'll realize that you don't have to think other people's thoughts. And you might be having a good day, you go out to the store, and all of a sudden you're going, ooh, and you're finding you're judging yourself. Well, maybe it's not you judging yourself. Maybe you were hearing other people judging themselves, and your energy field will translate it. And next thing you think, well, when did I get so hard on myself? Where did that come from? It wasn't even you. How to clear your energy field. And in our homes, you may have portals. You may have inadvertently created portals, and you're going here and going there through mirrors and doors and so forth. So I'll take you in the process. We clear up those kinds of things. Close the portals in our house or our space. Learn to discern which parts of your house does the energy feel awesome, and which parts of it, when you walk in that room, you go, ooh, doesn't feel so good in here. So we'll do the energy work. So this program is interactive, experiential. I teach you, yes, but then we do it together and I lead it. So you'll be doing energy work, learning how to proceed each day, how to start your day so that you're in your own column of light, charged up, automatically clearing your field so that when you go out, you're vibrating at a higher frequency than those around you. You can still be aware that people in the grocery store are having a hard day, but you don't have to take it in and feel it for them. The phrase that I hear when people see something on Facebook or something, someone's telling about a difficult experience they're having, don't say, I feel for you, or you will. And now you will be feeling their stuff. Go ahead and roll down, Jen. And further and further. So you're getting a powerful series of 4 powerful energy clearing and empowering master classes. I like to work with people so they learn how to do what I do for myself for themselves. I don't like to create this dependency thing. You know, you come to me, I do magic, you feel great, but then now you go, every time you feel bad, you go, well, I got to have another session with Janet. No, my intention and desire is to empower people. So the first session is called Empath 101, How to Thrive as an Empath. And to teach you more about what we've brushed on here in this, but how to establish the energy practices to start each day so you're in your own energy field, preventing yourself from being that empathic sponge, and you walk out and go out in public and all of a sudden you feel overwhelmed. So your energy stays strong, and to release any beliefs you hold that your empathic abilities are a curse or a burden. Your empathic abilities, my dear ladies and gentlemen, are a superpower, an absolute superpower. And when I started, I just opened up and I was empathic, and now I'm feeling everything. I'm overwhelmed. Whoa. Once you learn how to work with that and manage that, now it's my empathic nature that allows me to work with clients and, like the fellow driving by, hear his thought and be able to work with him to clear it and do some of what you observed me working with one of our callers here, for example. All right, let's roll on down. So that's a 2-hour masterclass. The second one, it is true we can receive energetic interference. There are entities, there are beings that don't have bodies that are out there in the field. They can latch on to you, and you want to be able to notice, well, this is what I feel like when it's just me here. And now I've gone to a hospital or I've gone out to the mall, and then all of a sudden I kind of feel like, whoa, what's going on? Well, you may have picked up an entity, and I'll teach you how to get that cleared so that you have the awareness. I know what I feel like when it's just me. I feel different. And even if you go, I wonder if I picked something up. I wonder if I picked up an entity. You don't have to know the answer at first, but I teach you who to call. Beloved Archangel Michael, you actually heard me do it. And and very simple, quick phrase. You can put it on a little card and carry it around in your wallet. So you're ready. Okay, I feel like maybe I picked something up. You just call in Michael, have him assist you. So simple, quick, and effective energy processes when you start hearing other people's thoughts, when you start feeling other people's feelings, who you can call on in the divine beings of light to support you, how to notice or identify that you may have an implant, like an energetic virus in your energy field, something that you go, I wonder if something's in there that's not me. And so I teach you how to do that, how to look for them, what it feels like, and we clear lots and lots. You get prayers and decrees to clear your home, your field, your cars, your bank accounts, and strengthen your energy of sovereignty. And I'm leading group processes. We're doing it together. So it's a lot of energy work. And next, if you'd like to roll on down, the third one, create your haven, your home sanctuary. We'll review your whole house. You get to review it. We'll spot portals if there are any, and we'll clear them. And it's quite common, actually. Beautiful empathic beings come and go at night. Your body sleeps, but you may be zooming out and zooming back. And there may be portals there, and other beings are zooming in to your house. And maybe you don't choose to have, other beings of light popping in on you. So we'll be able to say, well, this is my sovereign space. I choose to not have beings popping in and out of my space. How to make that sovereign decree, and then we'll look for the portals where they've been coming and going from and clear them, close them up, seal them. And then when you're ready to receive extraterrestrial visitors, you can have that experience, but you don't have to have that experience if you don't choose it or you're not ready for it. How to establish energetic boundaries and really brightening up the energy in your home, in your space. So we'll take action and you get the tools so that you can do it. When you go, ooh, I walked into that room in my house, used to feel good, but it feels kind of dank. What shall I do here? And you'll have some tools too. Well, I'll do this, say this, and then next thing you know, the energy in that room is now sparkling once again. And down to the fourth one, magic light wands, solar light rays, and other high-powered energy tools. This selenite wand I'm holding up, I use as a surrogate for the 2 crystalline light wands that I will give you and attune you to so that you know how to use them, what they're good for. One will help you clear your mental field when you realize you're running beliefs that don't serve you. Same one can clear curses, hexes, spells. And the other one, just for sake, I'll pretend this is a different light wand because you will get 2. Another one to help you when you go, wait, maybe I have some past life energy. Maybe I have some other timelines that this energy I'm feeling now are related to. And you can take your light wands and tap and tap and tap intuitively around your field and say, if these energies are coming from another timeline, let me come back to the present. So these are some powerful tools. Go ahead and slide on down, Jenna, a little bit further. Also, our chakras, we have the front of our chakras, the back of our chakras. And when we come into this lifetime, if we have old energy that we haven't resolved yet from other timelines, we take that energy, it gets pushed into the back of our chakras, and then it runs in our field, but we may not be aware of it. So we do work to get all those chakras open, learn about the different light rays and colors. Someone mentioned color. Which rays of light, what color can you bring in? And then there are 4 MP3s. One that you listen to and it allows you to start your day, tune up your energy field. The second one, after you've had a release, you've had a day and you release a lot of angst or anger or sadness and you go, oh, okay, well, I know I let a lot go, but I'd like to get feeling wonderful again. The Divine Love Elixir, you run that for 8 minutes and in comes all this juicy, wonderful love energy to fill your field back up. One, soothe your central nervous system, runs 14 minutes. If you're going, whoa, I'm just wired, I feel fried, that MP3 is one that you can allow yourself to calm your entire energy system. I lead you through the process. And that powerful one below it, ancestral energy release, if you're having an experience or you've got a repeating pattern in life, and you say, gee, I wonder if, this is ancestral energies, you can turn on that MP3. I lead you with a process of calling forward those ancestors in the spirit world who have a piece of the story. And then we work with them and some angels and highlight beings to clear the energies, heal it for your ancestors and for yourself. And then you'll also receive, for those who would like more time with me, a $100 discount coupon, so that if you choose to book a one-to-one session with me later, you can do so at a discount. And then this one is another delicious MP3, opalescent light bath. It's like going through an opalescent light car wash. And it clears you, it charges you, it fills you with incredible frequencies of the opalescent ray, which is one that vibrates at the 12th dimension. So juicy energy. It's like rainbows and unicorns energy. So I guide you through that. So what are you getting in the whole program? 4 master classes. Each one's 2 hours. You can just listen to an hour of it and then put it on pause and come back to it the next day. And then 4 MP3s to help you each day practice or solve a problem. If you think, must be something in my ancestral life, etc. So that's the program I'm offering you. It's $147. It is incredible, if I do say so myself. and there's many testimonials offered.
Yeah. And it's so incredible that a lot of people have bought this program and told us some of the
I mean, we get
reflections on
comments
it
all the time, and people are always saying, guess what I learned from Janet's program, and it's really cool to see people building on that too, and continually to receive. There was a little note there that says February, so we'll get that updated in that.
for the expiring bill.
Yeah.
Update that until next week. Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, you definitely choose it if you feel so inclined, for sure. Thank you so much for explaining that in detail, because sometimes I feel like we don't understand sometimes the magnitude of change that people can receive in working through some of these, really working these programs. I mean, I have my life change, and I remember the day that I bought my first program, I sold a purse, like a silly little purse I didn't even wear anymore, but I was like, I gotta have it. And I tell you what, I'm sitting here today because of it. So
yeah. No, I mean, it's been like years and years of following personal development and having to hunt down these things on my own. And now here's a program that just is like, here's how to get rid of it. Like, I mean, so many people talk to me about psychic attacks and entities, and it's just like, well, do you want to know how to clear them yourself? Here's a program for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's really my life's mission. A world teacher is sort of the role I embody on the earth, to teach and empower. Not, some people are the healer and they wish to heal everyone individually. I couldn't possibly work with the millions of people individually that need support at this time. So yes, I do individual sessions and super powerful, but I really love when people choose a program, go into it, do as much as they can themselves, and then come and say, okay, all right, I'm doing this and that, and maybe there's a blind spot. Can you help me with this experience? And then now we can really go deep, but they feel empowered then.
That's awesome.
That's so fabulous. Thank you, Janet. And I mean, Janet's really a master teacher, if you didn't notice from this conversation.
Learning so much.
It's fabulous. Well, Janet, thank you. And I know we'll probably see you in another few months. Because we love having you around. And I guess it's you have any final words for us?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. And I love you two ladies too, and your beautiful souls and your fabulous energy. And your own willingness and vulnerability to share what you're learning on your journey, because we're all learning, at whatever level of mastery we're at, there's so much more. And so when we have our own experience, for us to stop and go, oh, okay, I learned something. I have some uncomfortable feelings came up, but I had the courage to be with it. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. And to all the beautiful listeners, I send you waves of love and compassion. And I hope that you were guided here. If you were guided here, there was something here for you today, whether it was a question, something I said, the process that we did. And you'll know in your heart, I invite you to feel into your heart, if this program would support you more deeply. If you'd like that deeper experience in working with me, it would be my honor to support you. So choose it.
Well, thank you, Janet.
Thank you. And we'll let her go, and we'll pin up for a second. We just got a couple more announcements here. The first announcement is next week. We've got a really great week. I mean, the whole month is already planned. We've got the next month planned. Then we've got the summit at the end of May. So mark your calendars. Last week of May, we're having a really fun cosmic.
It kicks off May the 4th to be with you.
Very a cosmic event in May. 3 speakers each day, and that will be Monday through Friday. It's going to be a really fun and epic time. Next Tuesday, we have Jennifer Cahill, who's been seen on Fox, ABC News, NBC News, BBC. She is known to have cracked the code and human connection, and she builds businesses, or she helps people build businesses and leaders, aligning their communications with their most desired, outcomes for the world. And her expertise and insights have been showcased. She works with various different conscious leaders, such as Deepak Chopra, Roland McRae, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden. I mean, the list goes on and on. She is very prolific. I loved speaking with her when I was talking with her in our pre-call. And then on Thursday, we have the authors Rocio and Aquino and Angel. Oh goodness. And Angel, Rocio and Angel are joining us. They are the authors of the award-winning book, a transformational novel called The Orchid, The Secret Code of Modern Goddess. They also run the podcast around that, and that helps to connect the various different women from all over the world that have contributed to the book. Like I said, the book has won lots of awards just recently, and it's created quite the movement. And I think you'll find it very interesting. Jennifer kind of dubbed it as like maybe the White Lotus without all the drama,
it's sort of set up like a White Lotus, and you go on this adventure into this healing facility.
It's really fun.
Good. It's really good.
So I was listening to it via audiobook, and I'm doing my floors, and I found myself just whisked away into this transformational place called The Orchid. So it's created the movement, and lots of people are finding themselves identifying with some of the characters, kind of Sex in the City-ish, if you will. So join us for that really in-depth, fun conversation about the movement and what we can expect from, what they're doing next. And then, of course, Tuesday is going to be really good with Jennifer Hill. Go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I just wanted to remind you about our brand new Chakra Harmonics program. It's 7 frequencies that really awaken and spin your chakras. Last night, I was listening to the heart one while reading my book for about an hour and a half. And I just felt all, because it doesn't have it's not meditation, doesn't have any words to it.
It was created by a sound engineer, so it's really frequencies that hold,
if you're getting our newsletter, that you can taste them to see if you like them or not before you buy. But there's a link for Chakra Harmonics in the newsletter at the very bottom in the footer. And I just think it's just the coolest product ever. And I would love for you guys to have it. It's $27. So it's
is that why you're having prolific dreams now?
Maybe that's why, because I didn't watch TV last night. I just read and
had the
frequencies, and then I had these cool dreams. I love it.
We also had last night, we had the Mystique Society meeting, and that was super fun. I wanted to bring up a little card here. we talked about if somebody, that was the question that, you know, if somebody were to gain control of your life right now, what would be the first thing they changed,
Yeah.
right? And I said, you know, maybe the control. So many people said, I don't want to give up control. And then I said, well, maybe it's, you know, your higher self. If your higher self,
Right.
your highest timeline had control of your life, what was the first thing she would change? And I
Right.
thought, oh, girl. And so that also brought up the idea of surrendering to our highest self. And sometimes we just want to have too much control. So right after the call, let me tell you, these calls are really like, woo!
really, really
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And everyone's very loud.
And so our abilities to have our psychic abilities be amplified and strengthened is a collective. And so we take that out. I mean, the conversations are very, very, you know, in depth. And so right when I got off, I pulled a card, like I was just kind of shuffling and cleaning. And I got the card. It says, when I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith can set in.
Wow.
And it was just
good one.
exactly, and you can't see how pretty this is, but it was exactly what we were talking about. And it just reminded me that I don't have to have all control, because our guides want to send in all these beautiful love and light and give us this or something better, something greater. And I'm over here trying to keep it in this little spot. And I can surrender and let them, you know, the universe just be the biggest provider. And that's the biggest force of faith. So anyway, just wanted to share how really prolific these different sessions are. I mean, golly, it went down. I think you stayed on for another, I had to drop
Power.
at 90 minutes. And so we're for like another hour, because it's just
so
that
good.
powerful.
Yeah.
So if you're called, the information for Mystique, I don't have it
Well,
memorized. But
no, I just if you're called, email us
That's true.
at team@houthustle.com and we can talk about it for you. But I really feel like, you know, this is like, I don't know, I mean, this is a really advanced group. I mean, if you've been listening to these conversations, you know, this work, we are not beginners at this work whatsoever. And most of our audience isn't either.
Right. And I don't want you to self-qualify. Like,
no, but it is nice to have a conversation if you're not ready. If you're not sure and you want to know, you know, we'll work it out.
Yeah, none of you are beginners. Let me just tell you, like, from this call, you're not a beginner. So yes. And then of course we want to remind you that we always believe in giving back. So a portion of the proceeds go to support riseitof.org. It's support created by children who wanted to upcycle laptops and tablets. And so they do that, and then they give them to other children in need for the use in wellness and education. And then we will have I think that's it. I think that's all of the announcements I have for today. And we will see you for another great week.
Yes.
On Tuesday.
And some yay summit in May.
Yay.
All right, you guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you next Tuesday. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday. Bye, everyone.